Now this is a video store.
And this is a great movie, directed by Robert Redford, The Milagro Beanfield War.
Don't try to interfere.
Maybe we shouldn't push this. Quiet.
Available on video cassette from MCA Home Video, The Milagro Beanfield War.
What a difference. That's what the feel.
Pick up The Milagro Beanfield War today.
One battery has the power to start all these cars. It's a quality battery, but it's not the one you think it is. It's the Omega 5 60-month battery from Walmart. With up to 550 cold cranking amps, the Omega 5 delivers starting power for any kind of weather. You'll find it only at Walmart for just $38.94. And at $38.94 every day, you just won't find a better, more dependable battery. Go to Walmart and get the power you need for less every day.
Many nutritionists agree it's the most important meal of the day. You start with nutritious, wholesome, healthy foods, including enriched butter crust bread. When toasted to a golden brown, butter crust has a unique, delicious flavor. For a better, fresher tasting bread, insist on quality. Insist on butter crust, fresher to the very last slice.
Good evening, everyone. Topping our news tonight, a much-needed economic boost for Texas.
It's not yet official, but word from Washington tonight is our state will most likely be chosen as the site for the much-sought-after Super Collider project. A spokesman with a Chamber of Commerce type group in North Texas tonight says he has strong signals from the nation's capital that the Waxahachie site will be the winner.
Waxahachie is in a very strong position to land the superconducting Super Collider, $4.4 billion high-energy physics laboratory for our region.
Now, the Energy Department will make the long-awaited announcement tomorrow at 10:30 Austin time. And just 15 minutes before that, Governor Bill Clements has a news conference scheduled at the state capitol. Once again, the site selection is not official, but one more indication, our direction. The November 4th issue of the Kiplinger Washington newsletter said Texas does have the inside track on the Collider. The Waxahachie site is directly south of Dallas in Ellis County, and the Collider would be underground, stretching 53 miles in a ring formation. The $4 billion atom smasher is made up of magnets capable of whipping proton beams together with 20 times the force of the world's most powerful accelerator. Economically, it would mean thousands of construction jobs and permanent employment for as many as 3,000 people in the Lone Star States. Well, a triumphant George Bush is back in the nation's capital tonight, where in just 2 months he'll assume the nation's highest office. Mr. Bush and his wife Barbara arrived at Andrews Air Force Base after spending election night in Houston. They were joined by the new vice president and his wife, Dan and Marilyn Quayle. Bush thanked the thousands of supporters who gathered to greet him. He told the crowd he wants to work with a Democratic-controlled Congress and urged conversation and not confrontation.
Our country these days has a hunger for harmony, and I felt it at so many moments. I felt it strongly during the campaign, and so I'm going to do everything I can to have good and open and friendly relationships with the United States Congress, and I don't want us to talk at each other. I want us to talk to each other.
The president-elect wasted no time and announced he'd like his campaign manager, James Baker, to be his Secretary of State.
Michael Dukakis today returned to the business of being governor of Massachusetts. At a news conference in Boston, Dukakis congratulated Bush on his victory, but says Democratic gains in the House and Senate show that Bush was not given a mandate by the American people. The governor feels Bush's ads distorting the caucus record hurt his credibility.
Look, there's no question that the negative campaigning hurt us. I had hoped that it would be possible to run a good, strong, positive campaign without having to take up a lot of time responding to those kinds of attacks. I think one of the lessons of this campaign is that you have to respond quickly.
Dukakis says he gave the race his best shot. He would not say whether he plans to mount another try for the White House. in 1992. Now, most of the local and state races were pretty much decided by midnight last night, but the outcome of a couple wasn't known until this morning. In Hayes County, Democrat Libby Linebarger upset Republican incumbent Ann Cooper in the race for State Representative District 47. With all the vote in, Linebarger had 52% to Cooper's 48%. In Williamson County, another Republican incumbent was unseated. Democratic challenger Parker McCullough defeated Randall Riley 52% to 47%. In Austin, State Representatives Terrell Smith and Bob Richardson were both re-elected to office.
Re-elected Travis County Commissioner Pam Reed was not in Commissioner's Court tonight, but her colleagues voted without her on the controversial landfill proposal for Creedmoor. Texas Disposal Systems wants to put a landfill on this 343-acre stretch of land just outside of Creedmoor. Citing concerns over environmental impact, commissioners voted to oppose permitting this land for a dump site. The final decision rests with the Texas Department of Health, which is expected to start public hearings early next year. According to the Texas Family Planning Association, an estimated 40% of teenage mothers and 1/3 of teen fathers with children under the age of 6 will drop out of school. It's the kind of statistics that keep parents, educators, and social workers up at night. But as Action News reporter Keith Elkins explains in his continuing series, Babies Having Babies, the demand for inexpensive daycare and transportation by today's teenage parents far outweigh available supply.
You must understand, we're dealing with babies.
If there is a modern-day fairy godmother, it must be Laverne Redwine.
Come on, Ron.
Tough-talking, outspoken, children's rights advocate, Redwine does what others only talk about. After complaining about a critical shortage of infant daycare centers for poor teenage mothers, Redwine got fed up and started her own, a nonprofit operation that runs on private donations and welfare dollars.
This is apparently children that are falling through the cracks. We do not have one person here that is not poverty level or below. We feed these children a big hot breakfast every morning when they walk in here, and many times we very well know that they have not had anything to eat since they had their snack when they left here. If they did, they had some junk food.
It is the kind of helping hand that often makes the difference between dropping out and staying in.
Last year, percent or how many students, females, did you have drop out of AISD?
We had approximately 800. It's about 45 to 50% of the students who drop out each year are females. And again, the national statistics say that approximately 75 to 85% of teen parents drop out. But we don't know that all of those 800 females that dropped out were teen parents.
Well, consider this testimony given at a recent Travis County Commissioner's Court meeting about the problem of teenage pregnancy.
That we probably have 3,000 students or more in the Travis County area of school age who do have this problem. Either they're pregnant or they have babies and cannot therefore participate in education without help.
Another major hurdle for teenage parents is a lack of transportation. Only one school in town provides pickup and delivery service for moms and mothers-to-be. It's called St. John's, and the program is paid for using federal tax money. The passengers are all classified as special education students.
The real hardship comes when they go back to a regular high school, or even if they transfer to one of our on-site daycare programs. We do provide the daycare for them, but we no longer are able to provide the transportation, and so consequently they have to make their own way.
Just as former Travis High School student Marla Ferris.
I don't think it's right for anybody to have to sit on a bus with their child for 2 hours to get to school and then 2 hours getting back home.
Relying on a federal grant, Marla now uses the Peggy Seal First House for her son's daycare. She is enrolled at McAllen High School as a sophomore student, but it's not easy. Trying to beat the odds of becoming another dropout statistic is a never-ending battle.
I don't know what's going to happen 6 months from now when my funding gets cut off. I may end up back over at Travis riding a bus 2 hours a night. But that's the way it goes sometimes, I guess. Come on. Come on.
Keith Elkins, 24 Action News on special assignment.
And tomorrow night at 6, Keith will take a look at one agency that is trying to help parenting teens cope with their infants. There's more news ahead here on 24.
We'll tell you about some burglars who are breaking into some unusual houses.
People often ask me, when buying fresh chicken, what's the best color to look for? Well, some of my colleagues think the color should be slightly yellow, while others believe it should have a bluish tint. Actually, it's quite simple. For the absolutely freshest chicken available, the color to look for is red. Trust it. Bon appetit, y'all.
HEB brand chicken, the freshest chicken in these parts. You have our name on it.
Your Central Texas Chevy dealers just made it easier to buy with cash-back incentives. The hardest working, hardest playing, and best looking compact pickups and Blazers today. $500 cash back on all S10 pickups, $400 cash back on all S10 two-wheel drive Blazers, and $600 cash back on all S10 four-wheel drive Blazers.
Now that's value from your Central Texas Chevy dealer.
Central Texas Chevy dealer.
When I come to a store, I want to find what I came for.
You need Walmart.
If there's one thing I don't like, it's a long line.
You need Walmart.
If I want to return something, I don't want any hassles.
You need Walmart.
We have what you want right over here.
There's no waiting in lane 14. Thank you.
This thing just doesn't...
No problem. Would you like an exchange, or we can give you a refund?
You want to be treated right. You need Walmart.
That's the Walmart way.
On the next USA Today, the Playboy heiress. Her father built an empire around women as sex objects, but her philosophy is different. Look into the future of Playboy with Christy Hefner. This could be America's most violent sport.
Ever since this game began, there's been fisticuffs. The fans come out to see the fighting. Adds a different dimension to the game.
See why the fighting is condoned and why hockey is getting bloodier on the next USA Today.
Thursday evening at 6:30 on 24.
Friends of an Austin family are asking for help tonight. Their home was torn apart by an explosion early this morning. 62-year-old Joyce Johnson and her 84-year-old mother Myrtle were badly burned over 30% of their bodies. They're in critical condition tonight at a Galveston burn center. If you'd like to help the family with money and clothing, you can do so by sending a donation to the Community National Bank, P.O. Box 4980. That's here in Austin. The zip code is 78765.
The House of God is becoming a popular target for crooks. Austin police say just since the 1st of October, there have been 21 church burglaries here in Austin, 7 just since Sunday. Burglars ripped through the steel door of St. John's Lutheran and took a VCR, cassette player, and a little bit of cash. Police say the break-ins seem to be the work of several different burglars, but they do have one similarity. They gain entry prying open doors. Well, when it comes to the weather, we're breaking some records, but not at the right end of the thermometer.
Tim Ross is up next with all the weather ups and downs.
Before you consider this car, or this car, you really should consider this car. The 1988 Volkswagen Fox GL. It's the lowest priced German-engineered four-door sedan in America. Lower priced, in fact, than many comparably equipped small sedans. The 1988 Fox GL. The only thing left to consider is a test drive.
Test drive a Fox today at Onion Creek Volkswagen or Performance Volkswagen in Austin.
It's hunting season at Callahan's, and you'll find all sizes of feeders plus game blocks and feed. We have deer stands in Carhartt clothing. After you bag it, cure it and season it. Grind it with a manual or electric grinder. Stuff it for homemade sausage, then cook it with iron. We have all the cast iron cookware you need. Hunting pecans? Make it easy with a pecan picker-upper. Then crack them 8 different ways at Callahan's General Store. 501 Bastrop Highway, also called 183 South, a half-mile south of the river.
I remember thinking, do this or leave him.
So you called Faulkner.
Did you know you were an alcoholic and needed help?
If I did, I wouldn't admit it. Now I know I have an illness, and that's a big step for me.
Then Faulkner has helped.
They understand my problem, and they're helping me solve it. Am I happy she called? I might have lost her if she hadn't.
The healing begins the moment you call Faulkner.
Case 101 FM is giving away a new Toyota Camry from Austin Toyota, a new GMC Sierra pickup from Hendricks GMC, a new Buick Regal from Covert Buick Austin Bastrop, plus 3 $1,001 HEB shopping sprees. Find your winning Case 101 numbers and bonus registration form in the middle of your greater Austin area Southwestern Bell phone book and tune your radio to 100.7 FM right now. We could be announcing your name or winning number in minutes on Case 101 FM.
Tim Ross's weathercast carries the seal of approval from the American Meteorological Society. Tim Ross, Troy Kimmel, and Bob Rose, your 24 storm team.
So a record low last night, which is usually a high for this time of the year.
No, it was a high record low.
A high record, oh no.
Yeah.
No more confusion,
Go back
okay.
to sleep, Judy, Ron. And let me explain this. We had a record low high last night or something like that. Back in 1927 on this date, the overnight low was 70 degrees, and we all thought that was terribly warm, warm enough to be a high temperature overnight low record. It gets worse, Ron. Last night, 72 degrees was the overnight low, the warmest it's ever been during the nighttime hours in this particular date, so that's a record high low temperature.
Got it.
Or low high temperature. I don't know.
Whatever.
Hey, it got worse also. We had a record high temperature today. 1980 was gotten up to 87 degrees. Today it got up to about 88, so it's a record high. 10 o'clock out there now, if we don't have you thoroughly confused by now. The temperature out there at 10 is still real warm for this time of night. 76 degrees, 87% relative humidity, a lot of moisture in the air. South breeze at 7. As we mentioned, the overnight low last night, 72 degrees, a record hot overnight low. And the daytime high today, 88, which is a record high temperature. No rain, and we may have a few showers tonight as a cool front sinks into the area, but it shouldn't be much. Unfortunately, we do need the rain. Water temperature still fairly warm, 73 degrees on the surface of Lake Travis. In motion, the satellite photographs for the last few hours. Matter of fact, we started this morning, went through the afternoon hours. A storm came out of Colorado earlier today, back out into the plains and produced very heavy thunderstorms over eastern Oklahoma, back up into Missouri, parts of Arkansas, and points beyond to the northeast. You can see the cold front just over the Red River and back up in the Panhandle. Cooler air up ahead of that, behind that front, and ahead of that front, very warm, very moist air. Maybe as that cool front sinks into the area tonight, we'll have a few showers over the area. Overnight lows tonight, we'll have temperatures in the teens, clear down into northern Colorado, and fairly close to freezing temperatures in the northern Panhandle. Eventually, by tomorrow night, some freezing temperatures could dip into the Panhandle. High tomorrow, we expect high pressure over the nation's central sections behind that front. Lots of sunshine here. Another storm producing clouds and rain out west, and the big storm in the Midwest producing heavy thunderstorms along its southern length and back up over the Great Lakes. There could even be some snow showers tomorrow. High temperatures tomorrow will range from 30s, maybe even some 20s over the upper Great Lakes, where that low in a counterclockwise flushing will bring the cool air down from the north. And as you see, the high temperature is being compressed a little bit. Still 80s in the Austin area, still 80s along the Gulf Coast. But as you move back to the north, it doesn't take far to cool things down a bit. There again, the big storm coming, but I don't think it's going to come very far south tonight. Let's go for the forecast tonight. I'll go for mostly cloudy skies, overnight low of about 66 degrees. The high tomorrow should get back up to about 82. Not a record high tomorrow. We won't have to get confused tomorrow. Partly cloudy, we think, by tomorrow afternoon. Friday and Saturday and Sunday, partly cloudy. There is that possibility that storm out west may come into this weekend and give us a chance of showers, but I guess I've gotten to where even if I think there's a great chance of showers, I won't call for it because it just doesn't ever seem to happen. So we'll go with partly cloudy skies and leave it at that.
Okay.
Did you want to know about those lows
No,
again?
thanks.
You've made it all perfectly clear. Thank you,
I'm
Tim.
sure.
Sports is up next.
First City, Texas. Strong. Confident. Proud. A city of hard-working bankers putting new ideas to work for Texas. A city that says, yes, we can. First City, Texas.
You're looking at the newest breakthrough in home heat pumps from Lennox. The scroll compressor. Quieter, more reliable, increased energy savings. The exclusive Lennox HP20 heat pump with scroll compressor. And now with free 5-year parts and labor warranty. Only at participating Lennox dealers.
Your Austin area dealers are ready to serve you. Call John Osgood at Osgood Heating and Air Conditioning. Serving Austin and Travis County is Scott Pargin of Young and Pratt Service. And visit Sam Means at Cook Air Conditioning and Heating in Austin.
There are lots of reasons to like the new Mazda SE5. For starters, it's been rated #1 in overall customer satisfaction 3 straight years, which simply means Mazda builds reliable trucks. Then, there's that sporty styling and trusty 2.2-liter overhead cam engine. Best of all, there's a new SE5 waiting for you right now.
Come drive a Mazda at Roger Beasley Mazda or Garland Shelton Mazda.
Have you met the dude? Not that dude. This dude. The new Dairy Queen Chicken Fried Steak Sandwich. The dude's 100% home-style beef patty wrapped in a special DQ batter and served up fresh and hot, just the way you like it. So come on down to Dairy Queen and meet the dude. Not that dude. This dude.
This is DQ Country.
Spurs played at home tonight.
Yes, against a new opponent. It was expansion night in San Antonio tonight as the Miami Heat paid their first visit to the Alamo City. Only one problem. The Spurs turned up the heat in the third quarter, went on to a 117-93 win. The Spurs opened up a 25-point lead in the third quarter. Rookie Willie Anderson led the way with 29 points, 2 of them coming right here. Johnny Dawkins backed him up with 21, while Pat Cummings was the top scorer for the Heat with only 12 points. The Spurs win it by 24 to improve their season record to 2-1. Miami is winless after 3 tries. The Michael Jordan Show was in Boston tonight, and it was a show indeed. Air Jordan was in mid-season form, doing whatever and whenever he wanted to. Can he get up? Well, did Bush win the election? Yes, indeed. Jordan with the jam there. He scored 52 points and made 9 steals tonight to lead the Bulls to a 110-104 win over the Celtics. Kevin McHale paced Boston with 29 points. Larry Bird, struggling with foot problems, only had 18. Bird is thinking about having surgery on his right foot for bone spurs, and if he does, he will be out of action for 3 months. In other NBA action tonight, the Cavs beat the Clippers 108-91. The Knicks down the Bullets by 7. Detroit beat Atlanta in overtime. Philadelphia lost to Milwaukee. Dallas leads Phoenix at the halftime. Sacramento trails Utah 69-57 in the third. Golden State trails Seattle by 4 in the second quarter. And the Lakers have a 4-point lead over the Nuggets in the first quarter. The Texas basketball team scrimmaged an Army team in Killeen tonight at Fort Hood. They played 3 20-minute halves, and head coach Tom Penders told us why he decided to play against the Army.
Well, we feel that we need to play somebody besides ourselves, and it's good to play a team that's played together. This team has played about 10 games already. They're a veteran team, and it's good for us just to play against somebody else. It gives us a chance to evaluate our talent, what we're doing well and what we're not doing well. We're, 3 weeks into practice, and we need to play somebody.
Well, the Horns are already planning for next year. Today they signed 2 power forwards. 6'9" Corey Lockridge of Abilene, who averaged 12 points and 11 rebounds a game last season. Also, they signed 6'8" Gerald Houston of Atlanta. The Douglas High School forward averaged 16 points and 6 rebounds a game. Tomorrow, the Horns will sign Pflugerville guard Tony Watson. The 6'4" Watson averaged 26 points a game last year. Well, Roger Clemens' lock on the American League Cy Young Award is over. This year, the trophy goes to Minnesota ace Frank Viola. Clemens won the award the past 2 years, but this year, Viola was head and shoulders above the competition, leading the majors with 24 wins. The Texas volleyball team wrapped up its 7th straight Southwest Conference championship tonight with a 3-game win over Rice. Janelle Grimmel led the Horns with 11 kills as they improved to 23-5, 8-0 in the SWC. The Houston Oilers have won big games in the past 2 weeks, but one of their big players may have celebrated a little too much. Nose guard Doug Smith was suspended by the NFL today for substance abuse. The NFL won't disclose what that substance was, but it will keep Smith out of action for a minimum of 4 games. The 4-year veteran is the 22nd player to be suspended by the NFL this year for substance abuse. Chicago Bears head coach Mike Ditka received some good news today. He will be released from the hospital tomorrow after spending a week recovering from a mild heart attack. Ditka is doing so fine, in fact, that doctors are going to let him coach the Bears from the press box a week from Sunday. And even though he's in the press box, I think he might get a little excited, especially if his team is losing.
You're right. Thank you, Hugh.
Okay.
Coming up next, the changing faces of a popular Austin landmark that's withstood the test of time. Stay with us.
As an easy chair, I've seen fire and I've seen
Magic 95 FM. More music, less talk.
Sunny days that
And we just proved it.
Never end.
Now there's so much more to the new 89 Buicks, and this week Covert Buick has them for so much less. Like the 89 Skylark with power steering, power brakes, air conditioning, and more, just $10,888. The new Century has been restyled, and this best-selling Buick is loaded with extras, just $12,588. Come in and test drive the new generation of Buicks. They all come with a 3-year, 50,000-mile bumper-to-bumper warranty. See them at Austin's downtown dealer, Covert Buick, 500 West 5th.
The value of a sale is determined by the quality of the offering and the prestige of the retail establishment. Take note, therefore, that Frost Brothers announces a sale of exceptional value. It's called the Sale of Sales, a name significant because of the quality of the ladies' and men's fashions offered, and the additional 25% off on all previously reduced sale merchandise. The Frost Brothers Sale of Sales, now through Saturday. Definitely not your average sale.
Every town had 6 or 7 taverns then. And it wasn't about getting crazy. It was about long mahogany bars, laughing, drinking Rolling Rock, ball games, and being able to walk into any of the places then. And everyone knew you by name. Ronnie, my boy. Ronnie, how you doing? It was about friends. That's what it was about.
The oldest surviving beer garden in Texas is battling the bankruptcy blues right now.
But as economics editor Treva Ladd tells us, Schultz's Beer Garden is still moving full steam ahead to celebrate its 125th birthday.
Located near the state capitol, Schultz's Garden first opened its doors in 1862. Seen here with his grandson, German immigrant August Schultz opened this beer garden as a meeting site for pioneers interested in song and social activities. The face of Schultz has changed throughout the years, but it still remains a favorite music spot, university tavern, and a political hangout.
Schultz Garden has always been a place for the exchange of ideas, for the exchange of information. More legislators have come here to Schultz Garden. It's been said that more laws have been written at Schultz Garden than in the state capitol itself. In fact, right over here in the corner is where the now famous sales tax, original sales tax law was written.
Mike Osborne says he bought Schultz's 2 years ago when it was run down and losing money. Caught in Austin's economic crash, Osborne filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy reorganization last September. But he says the most grief came from media reports that said Schultz's had bellied up. That, he says, caused his business to fall off 25%.
We're definitely not belly up. You can still come and belly up to the bar here at Schultz Garden. We're wide open. We're going full blast.
And to let people know Schultz's is alive and well, Osborne is throwing a week-long birthday bash.
To celebrate its 125th birthday, Schultz's is tipping its hat to voters, the university, and to musicians with parties all week long. In fact, any Texan who has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy reorganization will be able to drink beer for 11 cents on November the 11th. Treva Ladd, 24 Action News. Great idea.
That's a bargain.
Yeah.
That's Action News for this Wednesday. We thank you for being with us. Up next, Ted Koppel hosts a special edition of Viewpoint dealing with the presidential election. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for being with us. Good night.
The closer we get, the better you feel. Introducing Seaton Northwest.
We got our hunting gear at Academy.
Federal field loads only $4.99 every day at Academy.
Where the difference is the price. That's right, Bubba.
Don't let the name Garden Ridge Pottery fool you. Inside Garden Ridge Pottery's big 6-acre stores, you'll find a home emporium. But not too early for Christmas sales going on now at Garden Ridge Pottery. A red 9 Silk Poinsettia was $1.89, now just 99 cents. This Thermo-Grip Hot Glue Gun gift pack was $19.40, now only $10.95. This 9-foot artificial green garland was $6.75, now just $4.69. At Garden Ridge Pottery, come experience the fun and savings.
Garden Ridge Pottery.
What car costs only $82.22 and gives you more car than any import car in its class? Give up. It's the '89 Ford Escort LX. It comes with more equipment than any comparably priced competitor. And right now, get up to $400 cash back direct from Ford on a new Ford Escort. It's totally affordable and totally fun to drive. And that's why Escort is the world's best-selling car 7 years running. Ford Escort and your Ford dealers are winning Texas over.
We'll leave the best we'll do. Texas Ford and you.
Every guest on the next outing has been married 5 times or more next time.